ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यैश्वरम्। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरस्य ज्ञानजनशालाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताकस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमः। आचार्यपादाय निताय कृपाप्रदायिने गौरकथाधामदाय नगरग्रामधारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा। So it is Canto 8, Chapter 22, Text 15. In the passage of Bali Maharaja arrested by the Lord. तान् अभिद्रवतो दृष्ट्वा दितिजानि कपान् नृप प्रहस्यानुचरा विष्णु प्रत्यषेधन् उधायुधा। O king, when the associates of Lord Vishnu saw the soldiers of the demons coming forward in violence, they smiled. Taking up their weapons, they forbade the demons to continue their attempt. Nanda Sunandota Jayo Vijayah Prabalo Bala Kumuda Kumudakshascha Vishwaksena Patatrit Jayanta Shrutadevascha Pushpadantota Satvata Sarve Nagayuta Pranas Chamum Te Jagnur Asurim. Nanda, Sunanda, Jaya, Vijaya, Prabala, Bala, Kumuda, Kumudaksha, Vishwaksena, Patatritrat, or Garuda, Jayanta, Shrutadeva, Pushpadanta, and Satvata were all the associates of Lord Vishnu. They were as powerful as 10,000 elephants, and now they began killing the soldiers of the demons. Text 18. Hanyamanan swakan drishtva purushanucharair bali varayam asasam samradhan samrabdhan kavyasapam anusmaran. When Bali Maharaja saw that his own soldiers were being killed by the associates of Lord Vishnu, he remembered the curse of Shukracharya and forbade his soldiers to continue fighting. हे विप्रचित्ते हे राहो हे नेमे श्रूयतां वच मा युध्यत निवर्तध्वं न नाम न नः कालो यम अर्थकृत. O Viprachiti, O Rahu, O Nemi, please hear my words. Don't fight. Stop immediately, for the present time is not in our favor. Ya Prabhu Sarva Bhutanam Sukha Dukkhopapatte Tam Nati Vartitum Daitya Paurushair Ishvara Puman. O Daityas, by human efforts, no one can supersede the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can bring happiness and distress to all living entities. Text 21. Yono bhavaya praga sid abhavaya divaukasam sa eva bhagavan adya Vartate tad viparyayam, the supreme time factor, which represents the supreme personality of Godhead, was previously in our favor and not in favor of the demigods. But now that same time factor is against us. Balena sachivair buddhya durgair mantraushadhadibhi samadhibhir upayaischa kalam natyeti vaijana. No one can surpass the time representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by material power, by the council of ministers, by intelligence, by diplomacy, by fortresses, by mystic mantras, by drugs, by herbs, or by any other means. भवद्भिर्निर्जिता हि एते बहुशो अनुचरा हरे दैवेनर्धैस्त एवाद्य युद्धिजित्वा नदन्तिनः. Previously, being empowered by providence, you defeated a great number of such followers of Lord Vishnu. But today, those same followers, having defeated us, are roaring in jubilation like lions. Bhagavad Gita mentions 5 causes of defeat or victory. Of this five, Daiva, providence, is the most powerful. Nacha Daivas Param Balam. Bali Maharaja knew the secret of how he had formerly been victorious because providence was in his favor. Now, since that same providence was not in his favor, there was no possibility of his victory. Thus, he very intelligently forbade his associates to fight. Etan vayam विजेस्यामो यदि दैवीं प्रसीदति तस्मात् कालं प्रतीक्षत्वं योनो अर्थत्वाय कल्पते. Unless providence is in our favor, we shall not be able to gain victory. Therefore, we must wait for that favorable time when our defeating them will be possible. Uh, Om yeah. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानजानशालाकय चक्षुरुन्मीलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Okay, so this is just the description of what happened before Bali Maharaja's arrest. Complete, you know, Vishnu just ordered him to be thrown into Patala Loka. So before that, what happened? I mean, when Vamana Dev had conquered all the 3 steps, and there was so Bali Maharaja. I mean, he had already put his 2 steps, and Bali Maharaja very humbly offered his 3rd step on his head. Um, so all so finally, I mean, the Lord Vishnu's his associates tried to catch hold of Bali Maharaj so that finally they could mm, throw him. Actually, Bali Maharaj, it's an amazing situation where he's a pure devotee. He's such an exalted devotee. He's a Mahaj, one of the Mahajanas. And he is acting as an Asura in the family of Asuras. As their king. So, on the one hand, because of being a pure devotee, he is righteous. At the same time, he has to take care of the interests of the Asuras and fight with the Devas. And so, you have to be really very Krishna conscious what to do and what not to do to understand what the Lord's what is the Lord's will and wish, and you have to be very very sensitive and very Krishna conscious in order to be in such a situation. And here we see that previously he is aware, that there's a sudden change of situation. But being a pure devotee, he never thought that he was the cause of all the victory or he is the cause of the defeat also. Previously, he is aware that only because time was in his favor, because he had pleased his guru, Shukracharya, even though he was a guru of the Asuras and he was not a pure devotee, but still, nevertheless, he was a Brahmana and he was guiding him and instructing him in all the religious affairs. On the one hand, he gave him knowledge about Vishnu, but when Vishnu personally came, he gave him the opposite instruction that don't follow him, don't listen to him, don't give. He's asking for charity, don't give him. And so, Bali Maharaja, he had to use his intelligence. How very difficult situation he was put in. He was a pure devotee and be an asura and act in the interests of the asuras, at the same time be Krishna conscious. And then his spiritual master giving him all wrong instructions against his actual good, I mean, ultimate good. He was more for all material prosperity. That's what he was concerned for himself and for his disciple. So here he knew that all his victory and success came because of following his spiritual master. And that spiritual master is saying something against, your actual well-being, ultimate spiritual well-being. And the spiritual master is also threatening that if you don't follow my instructions, you'll really suffer and everything will be taken away. He predicted all that. And yet he had to use his intelligence and understand that if a spiritual master goes against the ultimate truth and gives some other instructions, then you can reject such a guru. That clause we always learn in our in ISKCON also, that at what, I mean, in the initiation papers, it's asked, at what stage can you reject a guru? So all these things are very, very, very fine understanding of Krishna consciousness. That ultimately, that is complete surrender. Bali Maharaja was tested to the hilt. The finest understanding of Krishna consciousness he had to actually apply. We can all talk about Bali Maharaja, analyze his character, analyze the past time, think we know very well. Oh, I know how to, uh, you know, this thing deal with circumstances and so on. But it is easy to be objective about others' instance. But when you are going through something, that is when, we should not forget the Sadhu Shastra Guru, all the Shastras that we have learned, all the instructions of the Guru. That is when that they are the most valuable to be used in our, in that situation. And then that shows real faith in God, real faith in his instructions. And that is why Bali Maharaja is considered to be the representative of Atma Nivedanam, complete surrender to the Lord. He had complete conviction that even though, imagine, he was on the he was acting as his enemy by coming on the side of the Devas, and not only that, he was actually cheating him. He asked him for 3 steps and he wanted to take up his entire kingdom. So anybody else would have got, bewildered and think, how can the Lord, whom I've been worshipping all my life, and he is coming, he's taking sides and fighting against me and my people. So you can get bewildered. But Bali Maharaja had so much conviction in the Lord that he surrendered. And not only that, he was so detached and self controlled that as an Asura, if the Lord Vishnu's servants attacked him, they're supposed to fight back. So he allowed them to fight. But then earlier, all the Vishnu's servants in the Swargaloka, They were all defeated. They're all devas. They're all dear servants of the Lord who's doing services for the Lord. And yet they were defeated by the Asuras. Why? Because they did a great Vaishnava Prad. Indra did a great Vaishnava Prad to Brihaspati. And so everything, I mean, happens exactly according to the rules. And so he was aware of that the time was in their favor. And so because Indra had done this aparad and time was not in his favor, and that is why he could defeat Indra. So he never um, forgot the true cause of victory and defeat. And that is why he was, neither did he get too puffed up when he was successful. And now, when things were going against him, he was not too much affected either. He was able to think very clearly. And he said, the time is not in our favor, and the cause is not in our, for the present time, is not in our favor. Oh, Daityas, by human efforts, no one can supersede the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can bring happiness and distress to all living entities. So now, and he thinks, and now he says the time factor is against us. So then Prabhupada explains how there are 5 causes in the mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. 5 causes to any act or for success or defeat. Whatever we do, there are 5 causes for it. One is the body, the place, that is the body in which we are living. I mean, that's then the senses with which we use to do that work. Then the endeavor itself, what efforts we put, and then the soul who's residing in the body, and finally, ultimately, who's the cause? The super soul. So that is the ultimate, I mean, that is the main cause actually. These other things are just going on. Externally, we are doing all the motions like a puppeteer, I mean, like puppets. We are just doing whatever we, according to our 3 modes, according to our karma, whatever is Prakriti is making us do, we are helplessly doing it. But for the work, what success or defeat we get is ultimately based on the desire of the Lord, what He decides. Unless providence is in our favor, we shall not be able to gain victory. Therefore, we must wait for that favorable time when our defeating them will be possible. So, see how intelligent he is, much more than even the Devas, because when the Devas were getting defeated, they got very disturbed. When Bali Maharaja attacked the Swargaloka, they went to Vishnu because they were losing and they were very disturbed. And Vishnu told them that, see, time is not in your favor, so you wait. And Vishnu himself had to take avatar as Vamanadev and come and fight on this thing on behalf of the Devas, thus becoming a brother of them, coming as Vamanadev. But see, Bali Maharaja, he was all alone. And he was um, and Vishnu himself was fighting against him, and he had the intelligence to understand that time is not in our favor now. Because they were getting unnecessarily, okay, he tried to fight because he was supposed to, but he understood that right now, because in spite of their efforts, if they're getting defeated, then one should wait. One should not be foolish. Because we know unless providence is in our favor, we shall not be able to gain victory. Therefore, we must wait for that favorable time when our defeating them will be possible. So this kind of, what you call um, tolerance and patience to wait for the correct time and to act only when things are necessary to do and to change the action according to circumstances requires a great deal of the presence of mind and surrender, intelligence, and sense control, mind control, everything. complete, perfect, and all by himself, when even his spiritual master was giving him wrong instructions. But the Chaitya Guru from within his heart was active. So even though he was fighting with him, against him outside, within, Vamana Dev was actually directing Bali Maharaja with the right intelligence and giving him knowledge what to do. And so, so he was being sent to the Patala Loka, and he never questioned the Lord. How can you do that? I have won the war and got this Svargaloka. And how can you take sides and push me? I mean, you didn't even fight with me in a proper war. You deceived me because the time was in Bali Maharaja's favor. So the Devas could not defeat him by rightful means. And so the Lord came to deceive him. So all this can be very disturbing to an ordinary person, even an ordinary devotee. But Bali Maharaja was so surrendered to the Lord that he was, because of that he got the right. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Krishna says tesham satata yuktanam, to those who are always connected with me, yuktanam bhajatam. And what do they do? Bhajatam priti purvakam, with great love they're glorifying me. To such people, what do I do? Dadami buddhi yogam tam, I give the intelligence, buddhi yoga. Krishna consciousness is buddhi yoga because it is intelligence coming directly from Krishna. And what intelligence does he give for his pure devotee? Yenamam upayantite, by which he can come to me. Of course, all intelligence, all knowledge, all abilities are coming from Krishna. Even for non-devotees, whatever abilities they have is all coming from Krishna only. He is the master of everything. But for he directs a pure devotee mainly for so that he can act in such a way that he can come back to him. So that's why Bali Maharaja um, was not disturbed at all in such trying circumstances. And apart from that, now what will the see? First of all, the Lord, from a material perspective, you can think, how can the Lord do such things? How can he cheat his own devotee? Bali Maharaja is also his devotee. Why did he have to cheat? He see he did his part and he left it all to Krishna. He was acting as a king of the Asuras, so he had to fight in the interests of the Asuras, though he followed righteous path as far as possible. And when he saw that the Supreme Lord, to whom he was fully surrendered, he was actually cheating him in order to defeat him. It was unrighteous from a material perspective. And people may think, how can the Lord do like that? But the Lord has got a higher plan. He's got many things to consider. So his consideration was that Bali Maharaja, anyway, what is his? Why should the Asuras want to come and capture Devalok? Always, they have been assigned Patal Lok. They should be contented living there. But every time all demons' eyes are towards Swargalok and they try to do tapasya, get boons from the devatas, and then try to attack them and take their thing. They're not qualified. The asuras are not able to do good for the world at all. They're only destructive, negative by nature. Demons. So, how can they take the position of a ruler or of a responsibility? They're not fit for it. And so, the Lord was completely right in pushing Bali Maharaja down to the Patala Loka. That is the place of your birth. Stay there and rule. And the Lord said that in the next Kalpa or Manu, so this thing, I think next Manu's time, you will become Indra. So his desire, I mean, he fulfilled the, I mean, whatever was not correct, I mean, whatever was due for him, but not in this body as an asura, you cannot be. You be born as a deva and then you can rule. So Lord was also perfectly right in whatever decision he took. And Bali Maharaja had that intelligence and surrender, whether he understood it really or not. He was so surrendered, he didn't mind. He knew that whatever the Lord does is perfect. So that is what, I mean, till the end, to understand the Lord, we have to be at every stage, have complete faith. Then only there'll be so many tests in our lives like this, complications. No, do not know what to, whether to do this or to do that, or two different people telling us two different instructions sometimes, what to follow, what not to follow. And if they are both qualified spiritual people and they're telling opposite things, how to use your intelligence and satisfy both of them, all these no, very, very fine thought processes are coming from Krishna, from within the heart. So it's very inspiring from Bali Maharaja how much love and faith we must have in the Lord. And the Lord was so satisfied with him that he told him that I will come and stay with you. You rule the Sutala Loka and I will be your guard. See, for his pure devotee, the Lord takes so much pleasure in taking a junior position of service for his pure devotee. So, and Bali Maharaja was so satisfied. He didn't care for this position of Indra or anything. He wanted to satisfy the Lord. All the happiness in our lives is coming only from this. Actual happiness is coming from Krishna. And here in the material world, because we cannot see Krishna, we are trying to seek happiness through activity, through achievements, through positions, through sense gratification. And there's so much of a battle. The struggle for existence is only because of that. There's no need to struggle for existence. We are struggling only because we are not depending on the Lord. Actually, the Bhagavatam says that be satisfied with whatever Krishna has assigned you, wherever, whichever situation, whatever kind of birth, whatever kind of abilities um, you may have. Of course, you can try to improve yourself, but not do the impossible. Suddenly become something else beyond your capacity, for which you have to work very, very hard. That will honestly take you from the real purpose of life. Because every situation is decided by the Lord. Every result or every situation and what kind of life we lead is already decided according to our karma. Krishna assigns these things, and what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to think of the Lord and elevate our consciousness so that we'll get a better birth. This is the purpose of life. And in the Bhagavatam also says that all occupational duties must be done only for self realization. If it is done for sense gratification, it should not be done for the purpose of sense gratification. Of course, the senses have to be maintained, and for that sake, we are allowed to do our occupational duty. But the real purpose is for elevating our consciousness and going back to Godhead, or at least getting a better life, higher life, maybe going to the Devaloka or even within the earth, more mode of goodness and more ability to think about the Lord or spiritual advancement. This is the purpose of life. And that is why it is mentioned that, and here also Bali Maharaja is saying that we should go according to the plan of the Lord. There's no purpose. I mean, as an Asura, he cannot tell too many things to his people. So, of surrender and all that. He's very intelligent. He doesn't talk too much about surrender and all that. But he says that the Supreme Lord is the one who decides the time factor. I mean, whether it's of a good time or bad time. So according to that only we have to this thing. So now you don't fight. Previously we were victorious because of the Lord. Now also because of the Lord we are losing. So stop. That much he could tell them and make them, act accordingly, a little righteously. And so, I mean, everything in the right amount. He was such an expert devotee. Only a devotee, pure devotee, can be so expert that he knows exactly how much to speak, how much, what not to speak, how to behave, how to understand the plans of the Lord, and at every moment be aware of what is Krishna's desire. I'm not going to do anything which is against Krishna's desire in all circumstances. So then he will not get bewildered, affected. And so this is the wonderful, pure devotional service, the path which we are all trying to endeavor and perfect. And as struggling devotees, we even if we get bewildered, but Bali Maharaja never got bewildered. We may get bewildered, but that time we should use all the knowledge that we have gained through Sadhu Shastra Guru, through inquiring from Guru, from taking the help of devotees, seeing the Shastras, and come to the right conclusion. And chanting, of course, by which we directly connect with the Lord. It is mystic because we can actually associate with the Lord through all these things and we get the intelligence and instructions from the Lord. So, this is very mystic, isn't it? It's something we cannot explain to a materialist what you're saying that the Lord told you, or, or you're getting guidance from within and all. They'll think you're mad. They'll think this person, he's got some hallucinations. They cannot understand. But it is a fact. Krishna consciousness is so mystical because this Atma and the Paramatma, this is the Bhagavad Gita deals with this matter, and that's why ordinary people cannot fully understand in the beginning. You need a guru to understand Bhagavad Gita because it talks about something which is not in our day to day, in the material sphere, the experience of ordinary people. Here is the Paramatma and the Atma and the relationship between the Atma and the Paramatma, and the Paramatma saying, surrender unto me and I will completely take care of you. Of course, all religions say surrender unto God, love Him, and all that, but they don't tell you how to surrender or what is surrender. How can you surrender? They only maximize surrender means whenever you're in trouble, you just kneel and pray to the Lord, please save me, please give me this, give me that. Karma can't. That much faith only they teach. But beyond that, surrender means not even asking for protection and saying, my Lord, you do whatever you want. How can one become like that? Only through knowledge. Knowledge of our relationship with the Lord. What is the ultimate purpose of life? Where are we supposed to go? That itself, no, most people don't know. Hmm. Only the Vaishnavas know. And among the Vaishnava traditions, those are following Vaishnavism, those who are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, they only know. Otherwise, most people are just going along without any knowledge about what's the purpose of life, what happens after death, where are we supposed to go, what is supposed to be my goal in life. Nothing, no awareness. See how dangerous it is and how much we lose out. We are supposed to be aware of whatever happens in our life. we should know that everything, the cause, final cause is the Supreme Lord, the fifth cause, the most important cause. And when we are aware of that, we'll never become too proud also. Oh, I did it. Okay, I was an instrument in doing it. I'm very fortunate. We'll never claim all success, or we'll never run after name, fame, glory, and everyone's glorification. And pure devotee doesn't desire all those things, because why? He's getting a superior taste of being a servant of Krishna. That's our true position. And because that is the most natural position to be, the soul becomes extremely happy only as a servant of Krishna. This is very elevated knowledge, or hardly anybody knows, and hardly anybody practices really. Everybody is going around thinking of themselves as a master, an enjoyer, a controller, and struggling with existence, struggling for existence. Why? Because we are swimming against the current, against what is natural, against our relationship with the Lord. How can we be happy? And again, repeatedly we get defeated. And when we are really, Lord is really merciful to us and wants us to stop this struggle for existence for us, then He very mercifully makes us realize, why are you trying to aspire for all this? You are my servant. So you just aspire for that to render service to me. I will help you. And very easily you can come back to me. That is the final stage, the final lap of um, our test is in existence. All of existence is when we are ready to serve the Lord. Even great yogis and gyanis, they have learned to somehow they struggle to control their senses and their mind, and they even see the Paramatma, but finally they don't feel like serving Him. I don't feel like serving you. Okay, I like glorifying you and all. I admire you, but I don't want to serve you. There's not much affection or love. So then they have to go into Brahma Jyoti and merge. They're not ready to be taken to the spiritual world. So actually the topmost what do you call achievement for a spiritualist, for a person seeking self-realization, God realization, is service attitude towards the Lord, doing seva. That is the topmost perfection, not jnana and vairagya. In the material sphere, we are always thinking knowledge is very important. Only because of knowledge we come to the understanding, right? Understanding that this is where I must go. But once you're going on that path, I mean, that's only the beginning to take the right path. Then you know Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. And in Bhakti Yoga, even without that, somehow you go into Bhakti Yoga. Somebody puts you there, and one devotee gives you one service. Here, do seva. And you start doing. Then you get knowledge automatically. That is also mentioned in the Sankhya Yoga, in the Bhagavatam, third canto. When he's explaining Sankhya Yoga is supposed analytical study of the material world. But in the beginning, the Lord talks briefly about Bhakti Yoga and tells the greatness of Bhakti Yoga. And in that, he also says that suppose, I mean, just by doing rendering devotional service, a person can get all perfection. And suppose, even by doing devotional service, a person is not getting knowledge, or he's not full of knowledge, practical Krishna conscious knowledge about awareness about all these things, then that means his service is not complete, or it is not pure devotional service. But if we refine our devotional service, we need also to study Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and all other this thing, so that we are able to refine our consciousness, refine our motivations, refine our attitudes. Because the most important thing in Krishna consciousness is our attitude. It's not how much we do or something. Oh, you have to distribute 1,000 books, then only you can think of going back to God. There's nothing like that. Or you should have preached to so many people, or you should have been a top leader or something, then only you can go back to God. Nothing like that. It is simply Maybe somebody was just sitting, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had great admiration for his disciple who was a gardener, illiterate gardener. But he was so serious about Krishna consciousness, he would do his gardening, and when his guru was giving lecture, he would listen so attentively. Every lecture he would listen every day, and if Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a little bit, somebody came in between and he had to stop the Bhagavatam lecture and attend to that. Then he would come back to the lecture and then he'll ask everyone, oh no, where did I stop? Everyone will be blank. And this gardener will tell, this is what you were speaking, Guru Maharaj. So that much he had, you know, he was so dedicated. So knowledge and vairagya and automatically when you have knowledge, you become renounced from sense gratification. He got by just doing very sincerely the service of gardening, which is a physical service, and that garden, of course, the flowers were used for Krishna's service. So it was really pure devotional service he was doing, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur really loved him very much and had a lot of good opinion about him. So once Chandra Vidyasagar, um, a reputed, is famous scholar of that time, a Sanskrit scholar, an impersonalist. So he came to meet Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to have a debate with him. And when he came, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur thought, oh, he is not going to understand anything because his consciousness there's no service attitude, no bhakti. Then he will not understand the truth. So he told him, go and wash the pots in the kitchen, then you come. And washing pots means they cooked on firewood with thick black soot on the bottom, and you have to really scrub, scrub, scrub and make it shine. So, somehow by scrubbing, Prabhupada says that even our hearts get, all the dirt in our heart also goes away. The pride about ourselves, our learning or bodily achievements. So he made him do that. Actually, he was a little shocked. He's a great reputed scholar, famous. And here Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, go wash pots and come. But anyway, he did not go against him because he's very great, revered person. So he did that and came. Now can I talk to you? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, whatever doubts you have, you go and speak to that devotee there on the lawn. And he was really shocked. What is this? I'm a scholar and he's telling me to go and clarify doubts with an illiterate person. But anyway, he didn't, he thought he's an exalted person, very scholarly and very intelligent person, very religious. So obviously, he cannot be just fooling around with me. So he went and he asked that gardener the questions, to which he answered so beautifully, so intelligent, so perfectly. You know, truth should not, I mean, when you describe truth, it should be said in few words, but not too many words, simply describing too much, but choicest of words to give the correct explanation which will touch the heart and make you satisfied. Oh, now the truth I've experienced. So he was so satisfied with all the answers he gave. It was as if he was listening to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he was amazed how this illiterate person is giving such wonderful conclusions. Answering, able to clarify his doubts. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained to him, this is the power of bhakti, devotion to the God. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna gives the intelligence. That is why bhakti is so wonderful. Service attitude is so wonderful. Why? Because it connects the soul with Krishna, the devotee with Krishna. And what is lacking for a devotee? Devotee lacks nothing because when you are connected with Krishna, then all distress, anxieties, miseries, or doubts, everything disappear. And one knows, okay, I'm with the Lord. That's it. I don't care about my future, what is going to happen, nothing. We can always be in the current present situation and enjoy life. Because right now, my Lord is with me. He is telling me, do this, do that, and I'm very happy. When the Lord is there, there is no unhappiness. So we can be happy at every moment if we are thinking about the Lord. And one more thing is that uh, uh, we are, I mean, yes, we are thinking about the Lord and we are taking directions from Him. That's all. We don't need anything else. And that is when we can have this detachment automatically. If the Lord is with us and we are attached, and Lord will be with us, He is always with everyone, but our awareness of His existence with us is possible only when we are working for Him. We may be in the midst of all material things, but we should know that we are working for Him, for as service of, for as a servant, getting His guidance. If we are taking His intelligence from Him, He will talk, He will give intelligence only when we are working for Him. He will not simply talk to people who just want to satisfy their senses. Okay, satisfy in this way. He's giving intelligence, but that is through material energy. He's not directly conversing with the thief. Go and rob the bank, open it like this, and he gives the intelligence. Paramatma only is giving intelligence, but not through direct in out of love. Buddhi yoga, that's not buddhi yoga. That is simply allows. I'm a Upadrishta and Anumanta. I allow you to enjoy your senses. But for a pure devotee, he is personally guiding him and what right things to do the best things. Krishna can give intelligence for anything, but whatever a pure devotee does is for everybody's benefit, not his own sense gratification. So, this is very top knowledge, Krishna consciousness, very highest of knowledge to know how this whole world is working and who's the superintendent of all that and how I'm supposed to connect and work. Very top class knowledge, which comes only through bhakti, through devotional service. And in this age, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made this available to the commonest of people, fallen people of Kali Yuga. We are able to somehow go step by step, little by little, get clarity from hearing Prabhupada's top this thing, script, I mean, his explanations, following his footsteps. So that, and in the case, and see, in the same way that, what is Bali Maharaja, he showed this fine intelligence by discriminating what is correct, what is wrong. That is intelligence. In the scriptures, what does it say? What is intelligence? Intelligence means to discriminate between what is Sat and what is Asat, what is body, what is matter, what is spirit. We are supposed to do those things which help us to, um, I mean, act and remain in spiritual consciousness. That is intelligence. And the minute we act in material consciousness, which only helps our material improvement, that is not real knowledge. That is material knowledge, which is temporary and which is under the three modes. So, another person who exhibited this kind of intelligence is King Priyavrata, who is the uncle of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj's father was Uttanapada and his elder brother was Priyavrata. And Priyavrata had abdicated his kingdom and gone to, uh, because Narada Muni had guided him. I mean, he was not interested in ruling and all that. So Swayambhu Manu's sons, very exalted position, all, being the emperor of this whole universe, very, very exalted position. And imagine, he just went away. He was not interested because he came to the conclusion that it's more important to connect with the Lord. That is the topmost perfection. The happiness comes not in doing all these activities of sense gratification. Everything is very nice. I've got a lot of property, I've got a lot of big family, and I'm enjoying, and everything is happening. So I'm so successful, I'm famous. That is not the source of happiness. That is why the Lord is saying, the Bhagavatam says, be situated in whatever status you are in and try to do that job very nicely to the best of your ability for self realization. Why does it say that? It is our right to be happy. Then how can we be happy if, oh, this is my karma, I'll just keep quiet? No, you can improve your situation, but just like Bali Maharaja, if it is not, as much as you know that it is not useless, as much as you know that, okay, easily you'll get some result, you can try to improve, not but beyond that. And by doing it as a sacrifice for the Lord, for pleasing Him, we do that, that is happiness. Happiness comes through working for Krishna. And that is why we are advised in the scriptures, work for him. Idam Vishnave, idam na mama. This is for Vishnu, this is not for me. We have to remind ourselves. But we can see in the material life how it is all because of affection and love. A mother, doesn't have to be taught. And don't think of yourself. When the child is born, don't simply sit and enjoy yourself, neglecting the child. A mother automatically she loves a child and she will not even eat her food properly. Or when the child grows, even there's some little less food, and then she'll give everything to the child and starve herself. Or she will I mean, she's so happy to do all that for the child and see the child coming up well. That gives us satisfaction. So we have some little bit of experience of selfless love in the material world, and that is coming from our love for Krishna, and Krishna loves us back in the same way. It is reciprocal. So that is the purpose of love for of life, love for Krishna. So this Priyavrata came to this conclusion because his guru was Narada Muni, uh, such an exalted spiritual master in our, and we are so fortunate to be in his disciplic succession. All our gurus, our acharyas are all representatives of Narada Muni. Prabhupada said, I'm coming in the line of Narada. And so Narada was cursed by Daksha. And I'm also ho- continuing. I'm taking that curse also. That curse has been passed on to me also, of always traveling and preaching. So that is, so Narada Muni was a spiritual master. So he had renounced everything very easily. And he was sitting on the Gandhamadana mountains and meditating. And here, Dhruv Maharaja, I mean, Uttanapada became came and Dhruv Maharaja and all that and all these descendants. And up to the Prachetas, everything was fine. Priyavrata no, was very happy. He was meditating. But after that, they didn't have any proper king. So that time, Swayambhu Manu came to tell his grandson, please, you come and rule because there's nobody, and then all the universe will be in problem. Please come. He said, no, 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 I will not come. And Narada Muni was sitting with him to give him, strength. So there were two conflicting ideologies. He said that you should do your duty and you must come. And Narada Muni was advising him, no, no, don't go get into household life and all. It is just into Maya. So while this was going on, then Brahmaji himself came. Brahma is the father of Swayambhu Manu, great grandfather, and also the creator of this universe. I mean, he's in charge of this universe. So he also came with all the sages and Lord Shiva and other great sages, seven sages. Oh, everyone came there. Such an important thing. And for why? To persuade Priyavrata to give up his meditation and come and rule. Imagine, for all of us, it is the other way around. We want to enjoy, and everybody's telling, come, stop it, now surrender to Krishna. And here he wants to surrender to Krishna by leaving everything. And Brahmaji himself is coming, Shiva, all the sages, please, please come. And then Brahmaji told him, see, don't think that it's I who am telling this. This is the desire of the Supreme Lord. He wants you to rule. Now Priyavrata was in a very confused state. Now what to, both are important for him. This Brahmaji is his great grandfather, exalted person. His grandfather, Swayambhu Manu, also a spiritual, is also one of the Mahajanas. And these Mahajanas are saying one thing, and Narada Muni is also a Mahajana saying the opposite thing. Now see how confusing it should be. Here is Shiva, he's also Mahajana. Shiva, Swayambhu Manu, Narad, no, and Brahma, all of them are one of the, I mean, they are the 12, part of the 12 Mahajanas. And the opposite, Narada Muni is sitting and saying, no, no, don't go into household life. Whom to listen? And then he got the intelligence how to satisfy both of them. And how is that? You enter household life, but don't become attached. Do it only for Krishna's sake. That's it, with detachment. And then, because it was the order of the Supreme Lord, Brahmaji also gave him many instructions. How it is the Supreme Lord who's ultimate. Nobody can go against his instructions, not even Shiva, Brahma, nobody. What he says, everyone has to follow. So, what about you? You can also not bypass him. It is his desire and all that. So finally, he surrendered. So you have to use your intelligence here. Two equally qualified, exalted people are saying opposite things. And he, because of his surrender, he got the intelligence to please both of them and not disobey anyone. So that is Krishna consciousness given. I mean, we can see from the Bhagavatam such exalted personalities and their devotion to the Lord, and they were faced with such difficult challenges in life, and they applied the philosophy. The philosophy is for application, not simply sitting in one. Okay, sages all gathered in Naimisaranya, they didn't have any other work, so simply they are sitting and discussing. Armchair philosophers, no, they were actually discussing so that the Bhagavatam can be recorded for our benefit practically, so that, as Sutta Goswami says, the Bhagavatam has arisen like the sun in this Kali Yuga to dispel all the darkness of all the people, unfortunate people in Kali Yuga who are Manda Sumanda Manda Bhagya Hi Mata. All unfortunate, Manda, lazy, dull. That is description of us in Kali Yuga. Manda Bhagyu. For all these people, Bhagavatam has arisen, and by just studying the Bhagavatam, all this will go away and enlightenment will come. Enlightenment is how exalted about our exalted position as part of the Supreme Person. And actually, we are exalted people as souls. And now we are covered up. Our mind is covering us. And by hearing about the Bhagavata Katha, just by hearing the Katha, we can be delivered, we can become liberated. That is the wonderful thing about all the Bhagavata Katha. Here, directly, we are hearing how we should act, who is the Supreme Lord, and what are his powers, and what is our relationship with him, and the eagerness to, I also want to become a devotee. That happens when you see the Srimad, when you hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, immediately in our hearts we feel very happy. Oh, I also have a connection with the Lord, and I can also improve myself. I mean, I can become perfect. I don't have to do one big, tapasya, right? I don't have to be a renunciant and leave everything and go. I have to do some great, great austerities or impossible devotional services, or very great, like, mm, big services, otherwise I cannot be liberated. No, There is the feeling, it's the knowledge of understanding, sambandha. What's our relationship with the Lord? Abhideya, acting in that sambandha. I act as a servant. We have to remind ourselves whenever we are attached to the body, and sometimes we are too much excited, enjoying, or too much in misery because of some suffering. We have to understand I'm not in this body, I'm not this mind. I am part and parcel of that Supreme Lord who has such a deep connection with me that he is coming here only for my sake to remind me stop all this nonsense and come back and do act like this again and again. He gives. And it's so inspiring to hear this Badrinath. You've heard of Badrikashram, no? One of the Char Dhams. And who's this Badrinath? He is Naranarayan Rishi. And how did Naranarayan Rishi come to on this earth? Long back in Satyayuga, he came to do tapasya, meditation. So he came, I mean, he actually, that Badrinath, the Shiva, it was actually belongs to Shiva. I mean, this land, everything belongs to Vishnu only, but Shiva, because Kailas and Himalayas, everything is Shiva's land. And he was planning to do there because it's a very nice area where you can see lot of, a very good scene and scenery and very beautiful, very conducive for meditation. And Narayana wanted to come and do meditation over there. Shiva said, why you want to do? He said, no. Why you want to do, my lord? Meditation and all that, sapasya. We are doing thinking of you. Why you should do? Don't do. He said, no. I'm going to sit here and do for the benefit of all the people, especially of Kali Yuga, to improve their karmas. Oh, they are doing all sinful activities. And even see, we find it so difficult in Kali Yuga, even for basic things. It is because of such horrible karmas. And Naranarayan Rishi has come and he's still meditating. Why? To deliver us, so that something we won't suffer so much. Just imagine how much love he has for us that he is coming and sitting. And when he was sitting and doing Nara and Narayana, expansion of Narayana, and Nara is representing us. Nara, Arjuna, the devotee and the Lord. So they were sitting, and Lord was meditating, and in without anything covering him, in just on the ground in the Himalayas. So in the summer there'll be hot sun blazing on him, and in winter it's even worse because all snow all over his body and all that. So Lakshmi Devi, she couldn't tolerate seeing her Lord sitting in like this without any this thing. So, and she was not allowed to come. Now he's doing meditation because if Lakshmi Devi came along with him, what will she do? Oh Lord, please have this. And she will try to wipe out all the snow and ask him to keep eating something or the other or trying to heat up things. If she will not allow him in tapasya, devotee cannot bear to see the Lord doing tapasya. So he said, you stay there only. Don't come with me. So he was doing tapasya there, and Lakshmi saw that this Lord was honestly, I mean, snow and everything was falling on him. So she came there and she converted herself into a badari tree. Those berries, that those are called badari, and that somehow that but the whole tree gives a lot of warmth, and because of that the Lord, I mean, and in the summer she gave shade, and in the winter she protected him from too much cold, and that's why it's called Badri Narayan. And then what happened in Kali Yuga? He's still there, but for Kali Yuga, he converted himself into a deity form. And he was there. And then what happened? These attackers came from Tibet, maybe also the Mongols. They came and they wanted to destroy Sanatan Dharma. So they threw this Vigraha of the Lord into Alakananda river. Ganga in its beginning. And it stayed like that for so many yugas. And in Kali Yuga, Shankaracharya, when he came to know that when he went there, then he just dove into this cold waters of the Alakananda and brought this Vigraha up, and he made a temple for his residence. And then what to do? Because again, the attackers may come, somebody may come to destroy the temple, destroy the Vigraha, as they have done in so many other places. So that is why he established a Narsimha Deva on the same road in Badrikashram. And after that, nobody is attacked. So, how kind the Lord is. He is still doing meditation for us. We are constantly doing sins, and He is sitting meditating for us. And that should make us very ashamed, isn't it? The Lord is doing tapasya for us. So much love He has. So, and in the Bhagavatam, we hear of so many different avatars where the Lord is coming from Paritranaya Sadhunam to protect the devotees and to annihilate the miscreants. I myself appear millennium after millennium. So, that is the amount of love. And also enters the heart as Paramatma, and also externally keeps coming and showing his leelas and attracting us. So if we just hear his katha, that is also enough. It is like being with the Lord only. Even thinking of Lord is experiencing him. And our faith increases. Faith increases through actual perception, right? So that is why actual perception comes through doing devotional services to the Lord, hearing his katha, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, all the Navavidha Bhakti helps us to connect with the Lord and experience Him. Vandanam, offering prayers to the Lord. We must talk to Him. If you don't talk to someone, will you develop a relationship? So, okay, we sing prayers and all that and we think of Him, but we should also treat Him like a person, like we talk to each other, and we express some things of our heart, our mind, we reveal, right? One of the six exchanges of the devotees is what? Um, Dadati pratigranati. Um, what is that? Revealing your mind and also listening to this, sharing your thoughts. So we should share, and Vandanam is that. Okay, sometimes we may say all nonsense because we were mostly, when we are not very advanced, we'll only go and tell Krishna, I'm suffering. Why this is happening to me, that is happening to me, and we disturb the Lord. So we can just recite the prayers of other devotees. Great Bhagavatam is full of such prayers. And but also we can tell some nice things to the Lord. Today, Lord, this happened, something. I want to be more Krishna conscious. Proper things we should ask him, not disturb him. Oh Lord, not go keep on giving complaints after complaints to him. That will be a detrimental to our devotional, our relationship. But the right things, if you say in the right mood, and especially all just recite prayers or even Hare Krishna mantra you chant. This is what devotees do. I don't know whether I'll say proper prayers, so I'll just chant Hare Krishna in front of him. Even just Hare Krishna and say, Lord, I really wish to love you, but please, I'm not able to do things properly. When that we can express, please help me to take me out of this, my, you know, predicament, my total absorption in material life under the three modes. I'm not able to see you or feel you or talk to you. So please help me. Can make it more personal. And in this way, we'll become liberated just by this, by trying to relate. Sambandha. Abhideya is to act on that sambandha. And then we'll get the prayojana, which is Krishna Prem. Krishna Prem is the greatest wealth. Because once you have the Lord, who is the possessor of all the wealth, then who can be more wealthy than that? So, Krishna Prem includes everything. All wealth is in the Krishna Prem. We just, as long as we don't have Krishna Prem, whatever money you may have, you're poor. But if you have the possessor of wealth inside, I mean, who's your close friend, then what is lack will be there. That friend only will take care of you. You don't have to worry about anything. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna
Sorry.
Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Such a wonderful class, Mataji. They explained this verse very nicely and explain about the Naranarayan Roshi, Badrikashrama Ashram and Badrinath Ashram. So yes, we heard this first time, Mataji. Thank you so much for elaborating on that. Hare Krishna. I don't have any question, but I request all the devotees, please, if you go ahead, if you have any question or comments. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila
Then
Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you for the wonderful class, Mataji. Um,
thank you.
during the class, you mentioned that everything is preordained and everything is set already when we are born about the fate. Um, but in Krishna consciousness, we hear when we clap and sing for Krishna, even our palmistry changes, and then the astrology doesn't affect us. Like if we take the
Mm.
life of Jamil, he was supposed to go to Yamalok, but then because of his pious nature before, and then because he took the name of Narayan, his fate changed, and
Yes.
there are so many instances we see where the Lord changes the destination of the person. So should devotees be worried about the fate?
Yes, that is the only thing we should be worried about. Bhakti, faith, going to the Lord, improving our relationship with Him. That you can do. That is the only thing we are supposed to do. Then He changes. Then you're no longer under material energy. Krishna changes. So that is the purpose of our life. To not be stuck up in material consciousness, but to be conscious of Him. Then this material karma and this thing won't affect us so much, won't influence us.
Thank you,
Even for
Mataji.
Dhruv. Yeah.
Yeah, so I meant faith and the astrology, not faith. Yeah, I know
Mm.
devotees need to have the greatest faith on the Lord, but should we believe in faith and astrology?
No, the fate is because we're not fully surrendered yet. So we also wish to know materially what is going on. So, okay, you can know, but not for every now and then you run to Him. Generally, okay, suppose you're going through problems, that's when we go, or, okay, we can go for marriage. I mean, finding a suitable partner or finding a proper muhurtam, that is all okay. But apart from that, if somebody is going through some difficult times, then they go to the astrologer. That's okay because at least okay, the time is not so favorable. How long it will last? Okay, this is not okay, that is not. But we don't act on it by going, okay, go to the devatas and do propitiate this person, that person. No, we continue with our devotional service, knowing that alone is enough. All the devatas will be pleased. We don't need to do anything, but at least will not be too disturbed. What to do? Time is not so good. Okay, I will bear with it, but I'll use this time to become more devoted, to purify my existence, to become detached and from material existence and develop a higher knowledge by which I'll become liberated. We should use those moments for as a greater impetus to surrender to the Lord. The materialist goes to the astrologer to do some pariharams and do this, that, and then your life will become little better because the devatas will intervene. They don't change your karma, but they take this karma and put it for a later suffering and take some good karma which you're supposed to enjoy later. They'll give it, put it now. So you think, okay, that's very temporary and it doesn't actually purify you or take you towards your destination. So that's not very intelligent thing to do. So if we understand that Krishna knows everything and we just know, okay, what is his plan now? Okay, right now I'll use my time, and by thinking about Krishna, the distress will reduce. Bad karma will get reduced and good karma will get enhanced when we pray to the Lord. So that is the best thing to do anyway.
Yes, Mataji, thank you so much. Because one side we hear that we should accept everything that Krishna gives, that's enjoyment or suffering, because it's all Krishna's mercy and it is to purify us. And sometimes we hear that we are looking at pariharams and things like that, like in Mayapur, because of all the disturbance. They were looking what could fix this, and then they understood that we have to bring Ugra Narasimha. So
That
um,
is not because of karma. That is because the asuras were attacking. They were Narasimha was installed because the Naxalites were attacking the temple, and the Narasimha worship was introduced in ISKCON for when Prabhupada was very sick and the devotees were very disturbed. And Prabhupada said, "Okay, you start worshipping Narasimha and pray for your spiritual master's health, and say, if you so wish, please cure. I mean, keep him in this world. We need him and all that." Then also for protection, so many enemies of ISKCON were harassing the devotees all over the world in big cities. And also Krishna, I mean, they all worship Narasimha. It is for protection. Narasimha gives protection against the asuras for our devotional services, and he removes all obstacles. He protects us with good health and removes all our anarthas. For these reasons only, not that, oh, my Shani is this thing, so Narasimha Dev, please do something. We don't go to Narasimha for such things. We should not. And though he can do, maybe he'll do for junior devotees who are, who don't know, have much knowledge of faith. Lord also reciprocates. Many times in Mayapur, Narasimhadev, they offer every day, they offer tulasi and all to the lotus feet of Narasimha. Some devotees have so many miracles happening just by those things. Everything gets, okay and all that. That way also Lord Narasimhadev reciprocates. But also the highest understanding is, okay, Lord, if you can, please remove it. But then if he doesn't also immediately do anything, also we don't get disturbed. We understand that everything has got a purpose. Nothing happens without a purpose. Lord knows how to purify us, how to take us back home. That is his vision. And for somebody who wants that very much, then Krishna is working on that devotee in that way so that he can quickly come back to Godhead. Someone who's not so much hankering for that, okay, slowly I'll go back. Then then the Lord reciprocates in a different way. So for each person, it's a different. It depends on us. Everything depends on our desire, and the Lord reciprocates that.
yes, Mataji, thank you so much. So for a spiritual purpose, we can take measures so that our service will continue, but not for any fruitive work or any sense enjoyment. We should not do any prayaschitta or any of that.
Because when you do that, the whole point is we are suffering because of a lack of Krishna consciousness. And if we improve our Krishna consciousness, automatically material things will also improve. It's not that it will not improve. That will improve. Krishna will take care of that. That dependence is what is Krishna consciousness. We don't unnecessarily tell anything. That is dependence. That is part of our surrendering. Otherwise, it will become like karma kand. Bhakti means the devotee is depending on the Lord completely. In one instruction in that Privrata's case, Brahmaji, he's telling how we should behave. We should be like a blind man who's being guided by a person who can see. Blind man doesn't know what's coming next, where he's walking, and somebody who can see and who's guiding him, he just follows his instructions. We cannot see what is what in this world, what is the truth, what is good for us. So we just follow the Lord. So that is the topmost, the last lap of our spiritual lives. We are supposed to be totally dependent on the Lord, completely surrendered. In the beginning, we may not have so much faith, so we do karma kand. But that also we should not. We should just chant Hare Krishna, otherwise, we are committing offenses. But we can always tell the Lord, if you so wish, please do this, that. We do pray for devotees when they're sick or something, some problem is there. Everyone chants, but with a clause. Prabhupada said, if you so desire. We can ask the Lord or can tell him, but always the clause, if you so desire. We don't force the Lord. You have to do till then, I'll do tapasya. No, we don't force him. We leave him. Ultimately, he is the judge. But we can ask him, if you so desire, please, can you do this? That is okay. But a real pure devotee doesn't even do all that. But even when we are progressing, if you just allow the Lord to decide ultimately, you can express yourself to the Lord, but give him in your mind, okay, whatever the Lord does will be best for me. That that kind of surrender.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam always. It was such a nice class. And about your reference to the confusion, conflicting instructions from the different Mahajanas, that was very enlightening. So the Krishna consciousness was the only solution between all the confusions that came out. Yes, Yat Karosya, Rasnosya, Duvesi, so Krishna is very clear, everything in Bhagavad Gita about doing for Krishna, not for anything else. And yes, in our material life, like always there is Dharma Sankat. There is so the Dharma Sankat for Priyavrata also. Some more and more people are elevated, more and more people are aware that the more and more Dharma Sankat they will feel, and they will be able to resolve them through intelligence. But regular mundane people may not come across so many Dharma Sankat because their consciousness is that level. I mean, they will not feel this. But yes, very important and how to resolve Dharma Sankat Krishna consciousness. Very important.
Mm.
And about Prabhuji was referring to how I was remembering, if I can add, Mataji, is Lord Brahma speaks to while praying to Krishna, he says, Tatenukampanam susumikshamanam bhunjate atmakritam vipakam. The position of devotee is that I am suffering because of my atmakrita vipak, my own karma. But you are so merciful that you have given me, as Prabhupada says again and again, he affirms that you have taken so much of trouble off my back, and so your mercy is all I have. Very nice. Otherwise, yes, Krishna consciousness becomes karma kanda, karma mishra bhakta. Yes, Madhuri, thank you for your purifying association. Very wonderful class. Please grace us with your classes more and more. Haribol.
Haribol, thank you. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. I have a question, Mataji. So when you were saying, like, when Bali Maharaj was in trouble, what to decide, like both the sides, like it is coming from a higher thing, and like here in his Chaitya Guru, he got an instruction what to do. So but like
Mhm.
we will not be in such a big difficulty, but like everyday challenges will be coming, and we will be thinking that something coming from inside is correct. But I mean, like, how to identify whatever is
I know.
coming from
Hey, we
inside?
cannot do. See, he is so purified that he could understand the difference between Chaitya Guru and mind.
Hmm.
For us, most of the time, mind might be telling something, and we cannot think that is Paramatma speaking. And we may
Hmm.
be doing the wrong things. That's why we have to take shelter of Sadhu Shastra and Guru.
I mean, I
What
can
is the
just
Bhagavad?
share an
Hmm.
example, Mataji. For example, if a husband is not into Krishna consciousness and a wife is in Krishna consciousness, and she's more eager to listen or do something, and like the
Hmm.
husband says, "Oh, you are doing too much in that. There should be a limit." But the wife thinks, "I am in a limit. I'm just doing it while I'm cooking or while I'm doing some work." Instead, earlier the wife was quiet or thinking something nonsense during the cooking, but now they are listening during the cooking or doing things like that. But like the who is not in the Krishna consciousness, the husband might say, "You're doing too much." Then like now Bali Maharaj took that intelligence and he thought what is correct. So in that situations, how should we think what is correct and what is wrong, Mataji?
Oh, no, definitely. See, in Bali Maharaj, even the spiritual master, Shukracharya told him, don't worship Vishnu. He worshipped. I mean, he followed his instructions. So, when it comes to that, whoever it may be, we know that the correct thing is to worship the Lord only. So, you should not give up your Krishna consciousness, but don't reveal too much of it, what
Hmm.
you're doing.
Hmm.
Do it, internally. Maybe you can put earphones and listen so he doesn't know. Maybe you're hearing it loudly and he's also forced to hear, is it?
I mean, the problem is like I have problem with the ear, so I can't put the earphones. That is a drawback.
Ah,
So yeah.
okay, put it softly and hear. And you say that, see, because of this, I get more love for you.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm making more service for you and show more affection to him because it is a fact. When we love the Lord, we love everyone more, but on the spiritual platform. You don't have to tell him that,
mm,
but
mm,
that is real love. No, that is real love. So you say, see, I'm not quarreling or anything. In my mind, I'm feeling more love and peace.
mm,
So then he will be happy. There was one devotee who told me that, she was chanting and her husband was a materialist. And in the beginning, Krishna helped her. How? Because the husband said, when you chant, you become more beautiful. Okay, chant, chant. So, like that, you tell that, or you serve him more, or you show a little more, affection and all that. And then he will think, oh, this is very nice. Krishna consciousness, it's making us, she doesn't quarrel at all. Never, never even if he says something and then you don't agree. Maybe he's wrong also, but don't immediately oppose.
mm.
Just keep quiet. That you can do when you're Krishna conscious.
Yeah, yeah.
Then wait for the right time and then very nicely you can again explains. Then he is okay. He's very happy because you didn't oppose him. See,
Mm,
that is something, it is psychology, but then we are able to do that when you're Krishna conscious. Okay, let him say. Then you wait, you pray to Krishna, and then, I mean, he's in a good mood and all in a very nice way. You can say, I think, this like this. You just that is all. He doesn't want. Maybe see the main fear is fear of a distance that you will leave him, at least mentally, not physically, but he may feel that now you may not be attached to him. Like that, some fear will be there. No,
mm.
or so on the other hand, you show more affection, more good behavior, then he will accept it.
Yeah. I mean, they'll be accepting, they'll be seeing the changes and how the house condition is changing. But still, like even while criticizing, he says, "I don't want to say that. I don't want you to hear you. Even that makes me feel bad. But you are taking to a situation where I need to say that." So yeah, I think I need to do that balance, Mataji.
And yeah, balance. And when he is not around, that time you hear more. No, but you have to balance, and naturally, you also must be working, right? Both of you are back home at the same time, and so on, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji.
Is it like that? So you cannot. But anyway, you try to. That's what you have to strike a balance and make him not feel too threatened. It's competition with Krishna, na? He
Yes,
feels now become too attached to Krishna and not to him.
yes.
That is must be his worry.
Yeah, sure,
It.
Mataji. Thank you so much.
Okay. Where is Sham Rasika? We'll end it now. Yes.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Anybody,
Mataji.
anybody has
Actually,
any question or comment? Okay, so let us end up the call, Mataji. Thank you so much for your excellent class. Vancha kalpataruvasya kripa sindhu
Patithanam
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Vaisnavibhyo Namo
संत
Namaha.
वैष्णव की जय नमाचार्य श्री
Jai,
की जय संत राष्ट्रपति
Jai,
पतम की जय श्री
जय
भगवान
Jai,
साधु की जय खरगेश
Jai,
पद्मिनी माता जी की जय
Jai.
मच माता जी हरे कृष्ण
Mataji.
हरे
थैंक यू
कृष्ण
माता जी हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna.
थैंक यू
Krishna.
मैम
Thank you very
हरे
much.
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
हरि बोल
Hare Krishna.